Welcome to Fireteam Chat, IGN's Destiny show. Thank you so much for joining us. Joining me in the studio today is CJ Gibson.
What's up?
Fran Mirabella.
Hey, Guardians.
And Sean Finnegan right over there.
Chump.
There it
Chump.
is.
Doing the sharp.
There it is.
On today's show, we're going to talk about our impressions of Rumble. We're going to talk about what Bungie has been saying and hearing from the community. We're going to talk about our Nightfall impressions and overall PvP, as well as addressing some fan feedback about the show and comments that CJ has collected. So let's get right into it. This week, there was a big adjustment to the sandbox. Weapons were retuned. Supers recharge faster. You move faster in Super. You move faster on the ground. Or do you?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's funny, as Sean and I were playing, my first impression, too, I said,
Wait, how did you and Sean play?
Do I move faster? Well, no. I said...
He's on
Same
Xbox.
time.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Not together.
Okay.
When I was playing, but Sean and I confirmed this later, I said at first... am I faster? And I wasn't 100% sure. I felt it in
Definitely in
certain
Super.
movements. Definitely in Super. But at first, we were looking, and again, I've looked at like follow plays and much of other people who are doing the science. You do not physically run faster. You move quicker, you strafe faster, your mobility impacts as you're moving.
According to Fallout plays.
According to Fallout.
Because I didn't get a chance to pull it up, but I swear they said your top speed, everyone's a little bit faster. I got to find that quote. But
8%.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So you...
Is that it?
No, I mean, it does not feel like a top speed for sprinting is faster. It seems like whether
What
or not...
about jumping?
Well, that's the thing. So jumping, yes. And your super, yes. Animations for Arcstrider and Dawnblade and everything like that, yes. But it's interesting, Sean. You said you played. Did you feel faster when you're playing PvP?
So I have to preface this by saying I'm coming from playing the last couple of months just straight Halo, which is a very fast game. And my joke was like, did the patch even go live? Because I don't notice a difference at all.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like you guys are playing a different game
I
because it was
jumped in.
faster for me.
Okay.
No,
But
I
I'm like,
jumped
did I
in.
take the biggest placebo
I
pill
jumped in.
ever?
Maybe.
I noticed the movement
Sorry to
speed.
cut you off.
No, it's
I
okay.
noticed the movement speed for sure.
Yeah.
Because I've played fairly recently.
And Dawnblade dashing and
yes.
hooking, man. I
well,
mean,
when
you
you're
can-
in Super, yeah, it's definitely
even
faster when
without
you're in
Super, you can use the dash on Dawnblade,
Yes.
I believe, out of Super, and that can...
So a bunch of mechanics are faster. Your supers, your jumping, your movement when you're walking, and when you're strafing and having a gun battle in the combat situations, that's when I notice the speed increase because you know there's a little bit off now, and there's a couple new weapon metas that have come to the forefront too that make it. Yeah, it's changed a lot, but if you are not I think no, but that's the thing, right? you have not been playing a lot
we
of
cut you off.
Destiny.
You didn't
Yeah,
think it
what
was
But he's
faster
been
at all?
playing
no,
Halo.
like so I
So it
again,
has a comparative.
I'm coming from a faster game that I've been playing for like the last 6 months straight, and I expected that once the patch was implemented, I would jump in and be like, "Oh, this feels new," and it doesn't. It feels like I remember it feeling.
Right.
Like you said,
There's still
if
the
you
same
pay,
problems, right?
Yeah,
Sean, at
if
the
you
core, team shots.
Yeah,
et cetera,
exactly.
et
Like a lot of the core issues that plagued PvP from a top level didn't change, and I don't think any of these changes, while they are noticeable, and I don't want to paint with a broad brush here because I notice a little bit of movement changes too. I noticed that like you can strafe a little bit more quickly, and I can turn more quickly. I can move, but like when they said this was a go fast patch, I think everyone kind of thought like, oh, I'll be zipping around the map, and it'll be like very quick and fast and dynamic. And it's just
There's
not.
like a Titan skate.
Yeah,
Titan
if
skating.
you bind it to, I think, your role on like PC in certain areas, but there's different things. But I'm interested to see what you think, Fran, because I've still played Destiny quite a bit, and you said you felt initially like it was quite a bit faster.
And actually throughout, but a couple quick questions. What class did you guys play most as? I played most as a hunter during my first experience.
Titan.
Me, Hunter.
Okay, so no heavy warlock testing for the record.
No, but I mean, I did play a
jumped
little
in
bit.
to quickly do it, and I like trying to switch between the two at the end of the night. It was like 1 a.m. or whatever. It was a bad idea.
Our resident warlock, though, you and also Brian Malkowitz out there says that there was a
Way
huge
faster.
change.
Right. So
For
just
warlocks.
tempering that. Like we got
Even in the
this
trailer,
weekend.
they showed that.
Yeah, so we do have to play more this weekend. I know there's people out there. I just know because that's going to be my feedback. They're like, "What? It totally feels different for me." So I mean, depending
I
on the
don't know about
class,
that.
the subclass you were playing, I was trying to test Arcstrider with the Hunter and all that. But anyway, my basic overview was for starters. So I jump in a Rumble. I got wrecked. Like 8
I
people
really like
in a
Rumble.
Rumble, and I know we're going to talk about it. But
Yeah.
okay, that was the first setup, and I was streaming, and I was like, okay, next match. I'm just going to jump into like a team play because I got wrecked. So I jumped into quick play. I had the match of my life. Like I had like
You got
I don't
2,
even
3
know it was
kills?
like 30. No, it was like I gotta look. It was like 25 kills or 30. It was a lot of kills. I wrecked. I was number
That's good.
one. And I had time of my life, and I was like, what is happening? We were playing in Dead Cliffs, I think, which is one of my favorite maps, actually.
Yeah.
And I was zipping around, killing people. And the biggest thing I noticed was I was not running into walls of people. So the big question I have, so I wasn't running into 2 problems. One, where I'm like trying to get away, and I'm like slugging it, and I feel like I'm getting chased by a team of people. So that wasn't happening. The other thing that I noticed was I wasn't turning a corner.
That
and team
didn't
of
happen
people.
in that match.
No, other matches either.
right,
Everybody's
well-
moving around for the most part.
Yeah.
I definitely ran into teams of 2, but I definitely didn't feel as much I'm running into those walls. That being said, I mean, it was only a couple hours to be able to test that.
Yeah.
And it was the first night. So, but I can tell you, I'm ready to go back and play. I'm ready to try out trials, and I'm excited for Mayhem with what I'm feeling. But that was mostly as a hunter.
That's a good point, Fran. We're actually recording late Thursday. The update literally just dropped, so we looked over it quickly before the show, and we haven't gotten a chance to play Trials, which is removing radar this week.
Yeah.
So that is a big change, along with all the weapon
competitive.
adjustments.
Radar's gone.
But
Competitive has radar gone too.
correct.
Yeah.
So for me, my overall thing, I mostly just played casual, the Rumble casual playlist, and it still feels like Destiny 2 with some movement adjustments. The weapons, I didn't really get to dive in deep on it, but it didn't really move the needle for me. I'm
think
not
that-
like, oh man, I'm in.
Adjustments is a really good word to characterize what these are, because again, you can feel that there's a slight difference, but I wouldn't call these changes, right? Like I don't think they change the way people play PvP. And unlike you, in my matches, I played about 4 hours last night of PvP, and I was still running around with teams of people, still team shotting, still sticking with that Mida multi-tool, like shooting people from far away, and when people get in my grill, like switch over to Uriel's, like it just that's the game that I left.
Tried out sidearms.
Like, I wish
didn't
it could
see
be
a ton of a change there.
I did notice a few more hand cannons than I was used to seeing from
Hand cannons are
before.
better.
Yeah, they are noticeably better on
Big
console.
adjustment. We had somebody hop into the chat when we were streaming, and they play specifically on console. They said it's definitely improved on console. That was nice to hear, actually.
Yeah, so
I was on
actually-
PC as well.
I pulled
for
my
controller users, too.
I pulled my Masterwork Better Devils out of my inventory just to give it a go last night, and I haven't been playing with hand cannons at all in Destiny 2, and it took a little bit of
you're
getting
on
used to.
console.
Well, yeah, because on console it's not really a big. It's,
No, it's a
that's never
problem.
been the meta. Yeah.
But I
have
heard it's
been,
a lot better.
I mean, I didn't get a lot of time with that particular hand cannon, but again, when you know how it tells you what you're killing with. I noticed more hand cannons overall.
Oh yeah, I was making disgusting plays with Judgment, Minuet, Better Devils a little bit. I don't really care for Better Devils. For me, on a controller user, I got to preface.
I got a
that.
Masterwork
Midnight
Annual
Coup.
Skate I was digging.
Yeah, and Annual
Stability,
Skate's good too. Midnight
Masterwork.
Coup. There was some stuff I was doing, from a decent range, also hip firing and all that stuff. So from a controller user on PC, and I have not yet played console, the improvements are big when you're into Destiny and you're playing on a weekly basis. But if you just jumped into it, Sean, and you haven't played it for a while, I understand
Feels
how
like
you would not
basically
think
the
that.
same.
Remember?
I was doing Pulse SMG.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did.
And I'm like, this feels pretty good.
Saw a
I
lot
did
of
hand-
vigilance wings. Out
I
there.
did
Vigilance wing.
hand cannon, SMG, Antiope, or I was doing Time War Inspire, Pulse, and hand cannon. But actually, make sure you look at the last update. They only buffed certain types of hand
Archetypes,
cannons, or for certain areas too, for PvE or here. But I didn't get to try Nature of the Beast. I think it's Nature of the Beast. It's a red hand cannon by default, but. Check it out, because that's one of the types that was actually buffed. What did I say that's so funny, Destiny?
Nothing. I was thinking back to my matches, and I was messing around a lot with the tractor cannon.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you told me.
Doof, and they
little buffs.
bounce off the walls, and they have no idea what just happened.
So
and then I just
trolly.
pick them off with the pulse.
Yeah, and we couldn't tell if it was like a balance update in the discussion.
It
you
wasn't
think, or
anything like that.
It was
but,
just
like,
people who
it's
have
just
not
like,
had to deal
what
with
is
it.
this guy using? Because there's so much more heavy. I'll just pick it up, hit him with that, and then pull.
Yeah. I need to make a fast interjection because I'm already can tell. I bet there's comments filing in. Okay. I had the match of my life does not mean I think they fixed everything in the game.
Yes.
And I feel like because I can already tell, like everybody's like, I don't think it changed it much. This was okay. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying I just had the match of my life. And then I had some other matches that were like, they're okay. But I did want to round that out and say it is not like it's fixed for me. And I have a lot more that, I want to play. But I feel like I can go in and play, and like I said, I'm excited to try Mayhem.
Rumble's fun too.
In other words,
let's-
I feel like that was my final comment. Was I feel like it is a step forward. I feel the step forward. I still got spend some time with it to see how far of a step forward, but they got a ways to go.
I feel like everyone's itching to talk about Rumble, so let's move right
Yes.
on into Rumble right now. CJ, what did you think?
Melt, Fusion, bang. I was crushing people with Fusion Rifles. Wise and Rebuke and Main Ingredient. Those
are the
things-
two I was using.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are
Main Ingredient's back.
disgusting. Main Ingredient's back. And then again, Acreus, it's Acreus full time. So that is, I think, what the issue is. Now, I played some incredible matches too. I went 25-2 on one with like a 15 kill spree. And when you start with ammo, or you get a chance to get it in the first part of the match,
Power ammo.
yeah, power ammo, you destroy. Then it's
Like
up
a
to
daisy chain.
yeah,
of
because
destruction.
it's up to you at that point whether or not you lose the power ammo. And if you can keep it, yeah, I strung 5 fusion rifle kills. Yeah, probably like 3 or 4 times in a round one time. And I'm like, oh, there's the game. And I didn't even realize that I had one game. I'll post it later on, but I had 25 kills and the match was 4 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And it was really fast. So that part I liked. The opposite challenge is it is very spawn campy with 8. Like I was actually intentionally placing myself where I knew that if I was at a certain location in the map, somebody else was going to spawn behind me. And then they have a little bit of a shield. But at this point in time, I have Wise and Rebuke. So you got nothing. Like they are dead. And that is, I think, causing some frustration. I think people would maybe rather see 6 versus 8. But overall, the game mode is fun. It is feeling very energetic. So I do like all those things about it.
Refresh my memory. What is Shores of Time renamed to now?
A Distant Shores.
A Distant Shores. So that's the map that I got that I played a lot on.
It's good.
Man, it's one of my favorite maps.
It's good.
actually.
It is a good map.
And I just camped A.
I know.
Like once I got to A, I'm just like, I know
Hover over.
someone's gonna spawn there, and someone's gonna spawn there, and if I see him on the radar, I have my tractor cannon. Get out of my spawn!
My tractor
so it's like,
cannon.
"Oof." And they're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go somewhere else because they're like,
funny.
if they're not dead, they're barely alive, and they're a million miles away.
Yeah.
it was very, very fun to play there, and I did really well. I got like top 3, I think, not a win.
Yeah.
but I was having a blast
Yeah.
on that map. I really like having Rumble back. I had a
Yeah,
lot of
me
fun
too.
playing that game type.
Yes.
because I don't have to take it I don't take it very seriously. I never really have. It's just
That's
kind
it.
of go in, mess around with the sandbox. That's what Rumble has always been for me.
And less team shoddy too. I mean, I think that when you say you haven't played in a while,
Well,
and come back,
it's
to that,
impossible to be team shot
well,
in Rumble.
yes and no, because if you come into a match, for the most part, I'm winning mine because I'm hiding around a corner going,
Waiting for 2 people to fight.
I'm waiting for those
Then
guys
pick
to
them
just
off.
bang,
It's like-
bang, and just wait until they're low, and then you camp them off. So there is some strategy in Rumble, but it does feel a little bit cheap.
You got to play it differently. That was my experience. As I jumped into Rumble just for like 2 hours today before coming on the show here because I didn't get to play it yesterday because I don't really like Rumble. I don't like FFA.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's just
That was my mode in Halo.
Oh,
also.
it's a lot of getting
Yeah, I
shot
love
in the
it.
back, man. Like that's what
Oh,
it is.
I love it.
And like there'll be this thing where like you're stopped in a spot and there's 3 radar pings, one on each side of you and one in front of you, and you're like, because Destiny's radar is still
So
bad.
big.
You're like, which one is going to be closer? And you're kind of just like orientating yourself towards which ping you think is going to be the closest
Yeah.
one.
Sean, if I had a sword, you'd be screwed.
And then,
Oh yeah.
then they
Lots
all
of swords.
they all show up at the same time,
Scrub.
and you can't.
One has a
choose-
sword, Sean dies.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and so you have to play a little bit more passively. And I kind of got the hang and the pace of it later on, but it's still just like I don't know. It's not really my thing.
What's your username
Brand, you've been
again?
quiet.
Shot by Finnegan.
So if you see him out there on Xbox,
shoot him, sword him.
make sure to get a sword at him and save the clip because we'll go back and find what he said about that moment.
Send it
You'll
to
never
us.
get
Make a little
anywhere near me.
montage.
What did you say
Unless
before?
you'll never get anywhere near me with the sword. I'll see
Yeah,
you coming
sure.
from a mile
He
away.
said something
He
like
said
I
you're
might be
a
fighting
total
someone
loser.
You know,
Oh,
if,
yeah.
if you get killed by a sword, you're a scrub. That was the line.
It's true.
I'm just messing around.
Brand, what's your thoughts?
Truth.
So like I said, I kind of was getting wrecked in my first Rumble matches. Part of it is I'm not a top tier player. That's a fundamental.
I am.
Well, I got to try the tractor cannon. But then I was getting in the middle and towards the top. But I guess I'm still forming my thoughts on it. But number one, yes, it feels like 8 people crammed into a map that is too small for it for me. There was too much crowding and
Depending on the map, for
just
sure.
too much. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, yeah, try it on Burnout. It's a little crazy.
Dude, even the bigger ones, like what's the emperor? What's the one that happens on the Leviathan? Emperor something.
Emperor's Respite.
Emperor's
yeah.
Respite. That's a big map, and even that felt crammed.
Yeah, because those zones are crammed.
Yeah.
Is what I was feeling.
Well, it's
so
because people also gravitate towards the heavy now.
You guys do not like Rumble. I'm getting like a
No,
wee-
no, no,
wee-
no,
I mean,
wait,
I've
wait.
never been a
I,
big
lo-
FFA
I love
guy.
it. It's
I liked
it's
it.
different than any of the other game modes. Everything else just feels the
No,
same.
time out.
Yeah.
What if I take away your tractor cannon? What do you think of that?
No, it's still fine. I'll use fusion.
Did you try it with anything except tractor cannon?
Snipers, but I'm terrible at sniping. I'm
I'm just
like,
saying.
this is a bad idea.
But no, Rumble was one of my favorite modes in Destiny 1 because I could just hop in, play my own. Like, right, you don't got to group up. You don't have to deal with the blueberry problem, where they're doing things you
You
don't
do
want
take
to
it really seriously.
Rumble?
Just PvP.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know that.
We played Fortnite, and you're like,
It's his
Destin, you need to
personality.
focus up. And I'm like having a good time. I have 2 kills. I'm having the time of my life. Friends like, focus up.
Okay,
we need to
but
loot.
we were co-streaming too. That and like part of that is entertaining. You're like, you hadn't played a lot of Fortnite either, though, and like we do want that W.
Greatest thing.
But no, we played together, and he'd be like, "Whatever, let's go," and he'd be running ahead, and I'm like, "Destin, would you wait?" Like,
And then
relax.
Frank gets dead
and I would
somehow.
no,
Type A's. Type A's.
Anyway,
It was fun. It was really fun playing.
you should watch us play Fortnite sometime too. But I do like Rumble. It's too early for me to tell, to be quite honest. But it feels like too many people on the map. I'm actually curious if you guys, what do you think of that? Do you think there's too many people on these maps? How would you adjust it, if at all?
Yeah, I feel
No.
like 6 would be good.
I think
That's
it's
how I
great.
feel.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
You think size is right?
I think it's pretty good too. I think just maybe the spawn timer. I know that they increased the spawn timer, so sometimes it feels like when it's really fast, you can pick people off where they're going to spawn. So maybe if the spawn timer was a little bit longer, or 6, but I feel like it's a pretty good mix right now of getting to 25 and feeling like I've got my super twice in a match. So there's things that I like about it, and I think I've heard and seen the Reddit posts of, oh, we need 6 or it's too frantic. To me, that's what Rumble is. It's about situational awareness and getting in there and wrecking.
So
with
you-
the
wow.
Bouncing off of that, there's enough game modes where everybody runs and hides. Don't make more of
Yeah.
those. Leave Rumble alone.
I know.
I like it how it is. I want action. Moment,
I don't think
moment.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's really
The
interesting.
spawns
hearing
they're
that.
adjusting, so that'll
but
be
I,
fixed.
I don't think reducing it, let's say, to 6 would be a problem for that. But I think it's a problem for matchmaking, right?
It is my
you
favorite
can't go
mode.
from 4 to
Dude,
3
nobody
to-
can disengage and just run away and recharge their shields.
Yep.
At least that's not what they're doing. They just finish out the encounter.
Yeah, I gotta play more.
It's forced that way.
So,
I love that.
So here's the only thing, and I think it brings up, and we'll get to this again. The time to kill is still the conversation. I think that's a pretty hot topic right now, and that is what I think people find challenging. Is I have a fusion rifle, or shotgun, or whatever. You have what? What's your primary weapon right now?
For my
You're in Rumble.
Well, I usually use. I don't have Nurgle, so I use a Godia or whatever.
Okay, all right. And
Yeah.
what do
Is that
you
what?
guys using?
It's
What
a
weapon is
secondary. It's a
that?
secondary. For my
Is it a pulse?
primary, I'll use a SMG.
It's SMG. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
What's the best one?
Anio.
Anio.
Yeah. What's yours? What's your primary that you're going into battle?
I have those
usually.
two loadouts. I do hand cannon pulse, or I'm doing hand cannon SMG.
Okay.
What's
what about
the Trials auto rifle? That one.
Darkest Before?
Oh, and fusion, by
I
the
don't
way.
think
is
that's
my-
what it called.
my
No,
power.
it's not.
Yeah. Oh, that was the current one, but I know the older one. Okay.
Yeah, the
what's-
older one, and then Uriel's obviously.
And Uriel's.
Lots of
Yeah,
hand
I
cannons.
use 2 auto rifles.
So here's the challenge: is that when you spawn and you don't have anything of power, and your enemy does, you are at a severe disadvantage because the time to kill doesn't allow you a chance to kill that guy.
I disagree. You
No,
gotta play it right.
He's right. I mean, I think that way too. But the comments of people saying that they want the reduced time to kill for that reason, I get that in a sense, because then you actually can feel like you can compete. Right now, there's nothing that competes with Legend of Acris and my fusion rifle at that distance. You are dead. Like, you're dead because you're
Well,
not going to.
If they get that close, yeah.
If you get that close, you're just
Don't
not
let them
going to
get
kill me.
that close.
But when you're spawning,
Oh, hey, there's a dude crouched
Yeah,
around the
yeah.
corner. He either has a sword or Acreus. Don't engage.
I'm with Des, though. I don't think
Yeah.
people were checking in. This dude keeps wrecking people.
Right.
Get him.
I know.
That probably wasn't happening for you, and it should have.
Yeah, I mean,
you should have been.
I
hunted.
was the guy that was wrecking. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, a dozen games. I got first in like a dozen games.
I watched
I'm gonna post the game. I went 25-2. I'm just saying. I've seen that comment, and for me, I'm a pulse rifle guy. I think it's still mostly the people who want 3-tap hand cannons who feel that way. And Time War Inspire, Vigilance Wing are gonna destroy now.
I think
One
Time
thing
War
I-
Inspires better, by the way.
Yeah,
I want to encourage
despite
everybody,
the
try
updates.
different stuff. Mess
Yeah.
around right now because the sandbox has just changed. Everyone's still doing the same old, same old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
It's
saying
like-
try Nature of the Beast. It
Yeah,
would seem
try stuff up.
like
That's
it could
why.
be good.
That's why I popped up tractor cannon because I'm just like, I never use this thing.
Yeah.
I just got it. I'm
See-
gonna try something weird.
Maybe I'll try and get out of my like comfort shell a little bit because I
Have to.
basically my play style is I find what works exactly best for me and then I min max it as best I can. So I jumped in with the same old loadout, the same old armor,
Yeah, you
and I
use it
won
autos,
a
like
bunch of
it's-
times.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you were still using auto, honestly, it doesn't feel different at first. You really
So
need to try some.
the other thing though is I noticed that it didn't feel autos were the one class of weapons that didn't get a buff, right?
No, they
or
kept
one
it
of
the
them.
same.
Yeah.
is
So
growing
and
still.
that I actually feel in games now is like I definitely feel like
There's
I
no
have to get
competition
the
against them.
yeah in order to beat someone 1v1, I almost have to get the jump on them if we're equivalently skilled.
Yeah.
Well, to CJ's question, wait, were you rocking dual autos in PvP, or you
Yeah,
said,
I usually
But
run
see,
2 autos.
But think about
unless
that.
it's
You-
situational. Like on bigger maps, I'll run.
But meaning,
Mida,
for the
you
most
know?
part, you were playing at a distance that isn't going to feel, I think, very different. I mean, you still should have felt something. But, like, in other words, I bet if you switch to, say, hand cannon, SMG, you might feel the difference because you're starting to play up close.
He said he's going to
Yeah.
change it up.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. I just don't like the play style of. I know a lot of like I see a lot of hunters just flying around and all different with anti-OD and stuff, and I hate that play style.
Oh
I
man,
like it.
Hate it.
hunters have been jumping straight up in the air above your head.
Yeah.
to mess with you now. That's like
it's
oh,
so
all right.
hard.
That's a
It's
new
so
thing.
hard
Yeah.
to keep track of them because like they're around
Swirly.
the corner.
Yeah.
Like they're because they can't disappear from the radar because the radar sucks.
But
and like
this is
you're
good,
like
though.
you're gonna turn the corner and like they're gonna be below me, above me. I
love
gonna
it
be
when a warlock
invisible.
jumps.
Like it's crazy. Yeah.
not anymore. The warlock
Yeah.
movement jump. It's
You can
pretty
dash.
fast.
Yeah.
You can dash. So no,
Yeah, you're
it-
still floating.
You're still floating, but I mean, for a hunter, I will say that I use Arcstrider in almost all my matches. And yes, finally now when you activate the super, your running speed is faster and your animation and your abilities, you don't feel like after you've smashed the ground or after you've got a melee kill, like in the staff, where you're locked into that animation and then you're getting destroyed. So yeah, like I think now people are going, no, I wish he'd buff the hunter maybe a little bit faster on some of the movements because he doesn't really get like tons of speed buffs like everybody else. But overall, yeah, positive changes from most of the supers, and I think hunter and Titan and Warlock.
You have something you want to say, Fran?
How about we do this? So go around the
'Cause I
table.
got one more
Say
thing I
improvement or not improvement for PvP with the update.
Oh, that's
One of the two choices.
Yeah,
improvement or not.
Improvement. Yeah, 100%.
it is an 8% improvement.
That was not a choice. Improvement. Improvement or not improvement.
Adjustment.
Okay, people are hesitant to,
Yeah.
to call it an improvement. That
That's
doesn't
fair.
mean that it's great at all.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's hard to say.
I was
if
not
it's
trying to
better
stack
or
the deck,
worse.
by the way.
No, you
I just-
didn't.
I
It's an
do think it's a
8%
step
improvement.
forward. Yeah, you could rate.
I did this rant actually during the stream at the beginning, and I said this is 7 pieces of a 500-piece puzzle that Bungie is setting up for later. This is like the smallest of things that they're building towards this big re-release in the fall, or,
Yeah, and
or big marketing push in the fall. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing it for mere
Yeah,
hours
exactly,
at this point,
24
right?
hours.
It's so hard to say whether it's an improvement or not. But like,
I don't know. Like,
Sorry, I want to
it's
let Sean
better.
finish.
Yeah, right
I really
now.
want to interrupt him. But
Yeah,
I'm trying to
I have to. I think it's better overall. Like,
I
would
just
you
think
want
it's
it the way it
different.
was before?
but was the way before better than like
No.
better relative to what? Like
The
to
way
me,
it
they're the
was
same.
before is not better. To
They're the
me, like
same.
if I look at the actual gameplay of PvP, and even, we haven't talked about PvE much, the speed
We're going
and
to.
exactly the speed
Eventually.
and the super regen and all that stuff is not, I think, maybe the giant change that people maybe wanted, but it is better than it was before.
But that's incrementally
I
better.
understand.
All
Yeah,
right,
what
that's
you're
enough PvP. We're going to talk about Nightfalls. I got to cut them off somehow, guys. So we haven't even talked about PvE at all. So Nightfall Rewards. Let's talk about that. And what they are is Nightfall strikes now have unique rewards. You can, and we know all of them. According to Destiny sets, it is 3 legendary weapons: a hand cannon, a sniper, and an AR. The sniper does look really good.
Spoilers.
And then 2 sparrows, a ship, and a ghost Nightfall strike reward. That's via Reddit and Destiny sets. And a lot of people are really disappointed. However, I do want to pose the question to the crew. What do you think about this? Have you tried out Nightfall at all? I have. I completed it once. I didn't get the sniper rifle. With the sandbox changes, it did seem a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Probably just because Pyramidion this week, like they had more varied elemental types, so you kind of got to strategize appropriately. I still like the Nightfall adjustment. I like the scoring. I think this is one of the strongest updates, but I don't like that there's only 3 weapons. Like, come on, just give every strike a weapon at least.
This is the random roll conversation. To me, it's like if that weapon, if that sniper had a bunch of variations of rolls that gave you different things to chase for, then it would be, I think, met with a little bit more of a positive reaction. I mean, I understand people are a little bit disappointed. It is good.
I'm done.
That's the challenge.
Yep.
You got it, you're done. So I wish there was something, because Masterworks, while it's an improvement, it is not enough of a a perk attribute to change the way the weapon operates in PvE and PvP usually, besides those minor stats. So
I am really bummed that it's only 3 weapons. That's a letdown because they made it sound like it would be unique strike weapons, and that meant like most of the strikes had a unique weapon. Even
like
if it was
maybe like
something you didn't
Omnigul
like.
and Grasp of Malak, the example I always use.
Yeah.
But it's not that, right? It's just, and that's what I was. I
It's
don't know if we
literally
know, but
the
like
3 weapons
you
are
can
a
get
hand
these from
cannon,
any-
a sniper, and an AR. And then the others are 2 sparrows, a ship, a ghost Nightfall strike.
But I was wondering, do we know if we can get them from any?
They're
Like in other
tied-
words, do
they're-
they just?
Fran, they're tied to unique strikes. to answer
Okay,
your
so
question.
you get a hand cannon from one place, and you didn't get anything.
This
yet
week
either.
you can only get the sniper. Next week you'll only be able to get another thing.
Oh, so from Pyramidion is where you get the sniper.
That's
or
the
whatever.
sniper.
So you're incentivized to play the Nightfall and everything. I see.
Yeah.
Yep. But it hasn't dropped
okay.
like the amount of
It's rare.
chance. Yeah. The amount of chance, I guess, is
Like if
relation
you have
to your score.
90,000, you'll have more of a chance
Yes.
than if you have 60,000.
I can say, maybe put more simply, which is why I'm not like prepared for this question. I like the adjustments to Nightfall and all, but honestly, I'm not really bothering too much with PvE until the update 1.2, because like if you're really going to come back and judge it, you might as well wait for that big update. I know that's a expansion you have to purchase, but I'm just at the point where I'm like, I need new weapons, I need new stuff, I need new things to do before I'm really going to feel like I want to go and grind out a Nightfall.
that's the
I
thing.
like
so
the
many other
challenge
great
of getting
games to
the
play
points
right
though too. Oh well,
I
that,
like it, but I
of
guess my point is, I'll be honest. I've played Nightfall a few times. I played it at launch. We talked about it on the show, but I can't bring myself to like go just for this. Like I think these are good ideas, but I'm not hearing it from you guys either. Like,
All right, spoiler
dude,
warning. I'll tell you what strikes are what. Inverted Spire, the Ghost, Pyramidion, the Sniper, Exodus Crash, an exotic Sparrow, Impact Velocity, Arms Dealer, an exotic Sparrow, Tilt Fuse, Savathun's Song, Duty Bound AR, Curse of Osiris, Tree of Probabilities, the Hand Cannon, Garden World, a ship.
So tree of
Stop giving me
probabilities.
cosmetics as a reward.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like to me the big problem is that a lot of the stuff.
Unless it's armor. Armor is a different thing.
Yeah, wait, we asked for that. We want that.
I want
like-
armor. I don't want a ship. I don't want a sparrow.
I've said this so many times on the show, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but I feel like most of Destiny's hardcore players are progression oriented, meaning the rewards that you put in for strikes and PvP, the activities that people want to do most, have to be on some level worth people's time. And so that means give me a hand cannon or a pulse or armor that is significantly powerful and worth pursuing. Otherwise, I don't care about ghosts.
The sniper is desirable. The ghost should be in addition to whatever the weapon is. It should be a weapon, period.
Yeah.
You get a cool weapon if you get lucky and get it, and you should be excited about that at the end of the
You're saying I need a weapon.
Yes.
I feel like there's
Glad we all got
a
that.
sketch.
Did we all get it? I hope we got that.
I got it.
So that's my take.
But the sniper
any other thoughts on Nightfall?
the sniper does look good. I haven't got a chance to get it yet, but it's got snapshot, which so like Alone of the God, and there's a new Monarchy sniper basically that it looks like. And so from a PvP standpoint, snipers are not yet in the meta from that standpoint, but it looks like
I
it's
rarely see anyone use snipers ever.
Till the
this
flinch
is
is
a good
fixed, which they're working on.
PvP
Yes.
or PvE.
yeah, exactly. So, but it looks like it's going to be a good sniper. I mean, when you
So
get-
far, we're not hearing. We don't know if the sniper's good or bad yet.
I still really like the Nightfall adjustments. Whether or not
I
the
do
sniper
like
is
them.
good or bad. I
mean-
like that it's point based. It gives you a challenge. It forces you to work as a team. There's so much positive.
I mean, that's
things
cool,
about
but-
the Nightfall.
Well, yeah,
They're
you're more
all-
likely to get the reward with a better score, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's all great and well and good, but it's just like, it just seems like with this patch, and maybe this is how it was designed, it's like they're all incremental changes across the board. Like there's no significant changes.
Seven
Seven
pieces
pieces of a
in a
500 piece
500-piece
puzzle.
puzzle.
Yeah. 1,297 days.
Jinx.
Anyway, about that stuff, Christopher Barrett and Cosmo have commented recently on Reddit. And I'm just going to go ahead and read what they have said, listening to community feedback. Chris was responding to somebody, and just to read what he said, the focus one is easy. We want to reestablish Destiny as a hobby where there's always something new to do and cool or more powerful stuff to chase. I promise I'll have definitive answers for you. Your other two questions soon, but both the random rolls topic and the weapon slots are extremely high on our priority list. We absolutely owe players answers to those. Cosmo today, quite recently, on Reddit said, based on the conversations that we've been watching, and they collect data from the community. Community's always like, you're not listening to us. So Cosmo's like, hey, I'm listening to you. This is what I'm telling the team. And he says, based on the conversations that we've been watching, here's what I believe to be the most frequently requested changes and highest priorities of the community. He wrote down that it's been 1,209. No, he didn't write that. He wrote weapon slot changes, adding random rolls, make duplicate drops meaningful.
Slow that down a little. Jeez.
lowering the time to kill, more weapons and armor as unique rewards, secrets to discover, collectible items to find, more difficult activities, make exotics more powerful, direct access to specific activities, game type / strikes. Yep. Longer tail progression / quest activities, reasons to grind. Yep. More vault space and storage solutions. That one's real. This isn't the complete list, but that was a quick sample off the top of my head. And then he goes on and he says, feel free to respond with other items. I said, put vault space on there again.
Yes.
He said, many of these are already on there and they'll be updating the list of changes in early April. So one of the comments I see a lot is like, Bungie doesn't care. They're not listening.
Yeah.
And I'm glad Cosmo did this because he's saying, we do listen. People are just really angry right now.
Yeah, people are impatient. I mean, we kind of live in this culture that, like, I want it now.
Look
I
what
want
Fortnite can do.
Yeah, I wanted it yesterday. This is what Fortnite's doing. This is what
Well, and you
PUBG's
broke it.
doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
what's going on? And so
You
I
ruined
mean,
my game. That's
You
what I've
ruined the
heard
game.
a lot.
Yeah,
No,
right.
that's what I get
No,
from the
that's
community
true.
often.
it is. And
But they have
that-
other challenges.
They
that we-
do. And this is the weird thing. And again, I think I come across now, I think, as being the biggest shill on account of enjoying the game. And it sucks that I actually
How
am in this
dare
position.
you like it?
Exactly. I
How
know.
You're not allowed
dare
to
you.
like
And
things.
that-
I said I enjoyed Sea of Thieves the other day. And do you know how much junk I got on Twitter for it? I'm
Really?
just like,
Really
I'm not
weird.
allowed to
Sea of
like
Thieves
things
is
that-
cool, man.
Do we have to be
It's
angry
not
about
perfect.
every single thing that happens ever?
Yes,
Can I
the
just
internet-
say, hey, I really had fun on Rumble. That guy got the check.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where I'm at. And it's weird because I played with, like, I got to give a shout out to Drew's, Cammy Fault. I played Trials on the weekend with those guys. It was really good. And they're actually people who are genuinely playing D2. And guess what? They're just going like,
You like Trials?
well, within the context. You dirty.
Got him.
But it's weird because I think the biggest challenge, and I said that this was going to be difficult when they adjusted the TTK and they made it different, is that there's an adjustment period psychologically in your brain. Like when you're saying, Sean, you came in, you didn't notice like how much of a difference it is. And yeah, I think if you did not come into Destiny 2 playing a lot of it, you might not come back to this update and go, oh yeah, it's really different. If you're actively playing Destiny 2, if you're
I'm
actively
genuinely
playing
worried.
it, it's actually
Not a lot of people are.
well, so this is another conversation, but if you are playing it and do enjoy it, you have to shift your mindset from this is what Destiny 1 was, and I just will hate this game until it
sure,
is
but
Be
Destiny
careful.
2.
Nobody has to do anything.
And
people are locked in.
I
their
know what he's
perception.
saying,
But you know
I
what I'm
know what
saying.
you're saying.
Yeah.
It's through the lens, the lens you're looking through is going to matter. But what I'll say is, it's either going to come naturally or not. Kind of, I think it's maybe what Destin's thinking. But
Yeah.
I
like in
just
other words,
chill.
you
I
either
take
jump
it
in and
less
you enjoy it or
seriously.
you don't. And
Yeah.
yeah, like
I
by
hop
the way,
in to
if
have
you
a
like
good
Sea of
time.
Thieves and enjoyed like hanging out with some friends,
Yeah.
going on a quest, and by the way, I've like got problems with that game, but I really like it.
Yes,
Like,
it's
that's
okay to have
okay.
problems
See, like-
with it, but still enjoy something.
To me, it's not
And that's
about
what this show is
comparing.
about.
To me, it's not about comparing Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 at all. Like
It is that though for a
but
lot of people.
I'm saying for me,
Right.
Like
Okay.
I want so bad for Destiny 2 to be good so that I
Everybody
can
does.
play it. Because here's the thing, Halo is so sweaty, man. Like I get legit angry and like furious when I play that game because I try so hard, and guess what? Like I'm not like
hard.
I'm a try hard in that, and people are better than me, and they're way
Yeah.
better than me at that game, and I want a more slower, easy game where I can just be better than people because I have half a brain. And I want Destiny 2 to be that. But when the gameplay is only ever incrementally being changed and the timetable keeps shifting for these sort of big changes that need to be happening, like their little changes aren't enough. And so people have a right to be not happy with that.
Yeah. And here's my concern, because you're echoing what everybody's sentiment
Yes.
is right now. Who cares? You change movement speed, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the sentiment that's being put out there right now. And I'm genuinely worried that Destiny 2 may not have a chance to win back the audience that Destiny 1 had. I
The
think
longer
they're
this goes
gone.
on, you're right.
I think they're gone. They're going to do a big relaunch in fall, but they have such distrust within the gaming community right now. And even the hardcore fans are saying, yeah, you might want to wait on Destiny 2 right now because it's not in a great state. Like wait for May, which I actually think fall is going to be your more likely entry point if you were to come back. It's like we see No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was just announced coming to Xbox, and they're doing a re-release, right? They still have a ton of negative sentiment around that product. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they do come back. Is it going to move the needle? It will, but probably not in the way Destiny 1 was. And additionally, Bungie has a ton of fantastic competition out there right now, or coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say a couple things. One, let me know when I can maybe read over the development roadmap for 1.2 because I want to make sure we put it in the show.
Right now?
Okay. But before that, I do want to we talk about this off the show. I think sometimes we see it. There are actually a bunch of people that play a lot of PvE.
Yeah.
They really enjoy it. I know sometimes we talk a lot about PvP.
Hit me up if you're on PC, please. I seriously can't get people to do the strike sometimes.
Our Discord, keep filling that up. And then obviously tweet it, Destin Legary. Is that it?
Yeah.
But
I did a Twitter call out, 0 responses to play.
Yeah. No,
like,
it's funny.
wow.
I just got a message about the tower so empty. Oh my God, it was on my Discord. But part of it is everybody's playing Far Cry and Sea of Thieves and all this stuff.
Far Cry's really fun.
Anyway, I wanted to point out there are a lot of people I think who are afraid to get in the comments and like actually like you guys are talking about say I like this game. We know that there's a lot of people who still enjoy PvE. We recognize I think that the voices that are loudest for sure are the ones that loved it for 3.5 years, and want all these.
They feel like
so
their game has been taken away from them because they changed the core of the core philosophy of the product.
Yeah,
and I feel like to them they're like you've taken it away. Plus their friends are gone. Their friends are playing other stuff, so you've lost
Just
that
the big
camaraderie.
Definitely. I just wanted to point out, like, hey, we know that that's out there. We don't intend the show to only be about all the problems, but I mean, I guess to be fair, our voices are that. Like, we want PvP to be better, and we're not playing the raid as much. I used to play the raid all the time, and
I have
doesn't
nothing to chase in
that
the
doesn't
raid.
mean that it's bad just because we don't talk about it. Maybe that's a better way to put it. So,
Yeah.
so keep that in mind and stay with us. The 1.2 update is coming, and so perfect segue. I just wanted to point out, it's going to be in May when the next expansion 2 comes out.
Yeah.
So on the current roadmap,
They're updating
here's
it
what
in
they've
April,
listed.
by the way. They are
Yes, they're
going
going to update this list, so subject to change. But right now in 1.2, we'll have Eater of Worlds Prestige Mode, Seasonal Crucible Rankings, Private Matches, Vault Space Increase,
50 slots, still not fixed. It's not a fix. Band-Aid.
Multi-Emote, Exotic Masterworks, Seasonal Vendor Progression, Faction Rally Improvements, Exotic Weapon Armor Sandbox changes, which we know. And then the last one, this is like always a maybe, Heroic Strike Modifiers. Maybe like we saw with Nightfall. So that's on the current list.
I wish I could remember, but they did say, and commenters just let us know which one it was. They did say they delayed something all the way to the fall because it wasn't ready, and I don't remember what it was. That
Wasn't it Trials changes?
ago. I don't remember.
I thought it
so
was.
Let me know what that is in the
can't
comments.
remember
and
either.
I swear it was.
we can have a topic for
Yeah,
the next show. Yeah, but that's good. It's good that they're making those adjustments for May. We got a real quiet April, though, and I want to know what they're working on.
Yeah, I mean, new content. So it's funny that you mentioned that. I was looking back at when they announced actually House of Wolves in Destiny 1, and it was, I think, the first week of April within the context of the release cadence. And I think that's some of the other issue, too, is that for a lot of people, they expected Destiny 2 to have a little bit of a faster content push. So, if you think about how much we're doing now and how often we're playing PvE, I would love to play PvE more. I don't play it that often because, I'm not chasing anything.
Yeah.
And now you're waiting for that content drop. So I'm actually hoping that they announce something soon. And last time I think they announced it, like sometime between April 4th and 10th or something.
It should
like
be
that.
in the next few weeks.
And so it probably should be coming in the next few weeks.
First few weeks.
Yeah.
April,
And so if it does, hopefully it is sometime in May. And hopefully there's a bunch of other things in there.
They delayed mods 2.0 to fall. Thank you, producer Brian.
Oh, there we
No,
go.
now he says, wait, ignore that.
Oh, it was mods? It was mods? Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm hoping that the PvE crowd gets some new content and that comes in early May. So we should be expecting an announcement, I'd say, pretty quick.
Brian got it wrong, not me.
Now you're just waiting for the update.
I mean, we don't talk a lot about PvE. You're right, and I think that there are a lot of players.
You guys are PvP folks.
Always, I mean, like
play
the thing is,
PvE
like
more
if
than you probably.
I was gonna
Well,
look
maybe,
back,
but my heart
Sorry.
is with PvE
I
personally.
mean, if I was gonna look back at Destiny 1 and say what would have made that game perfect, I would have said more regular PvE content drops because
Right.
I think that the gameplay being so good is what kept people around.
yeah.
It was just, even if you were doing the same strikes and raids over and over and over again, it was fun to jump and shoot and play
And
be
figure
with
out
your
ways
friends.
to overpower it or trick it or
Yeah.
beat it in that
Yeah,
respect,
and like
you
up
know?
your efficiency and min max
Yes.
to the very like the nth
love
degree,
that,
right?
man.
That's what RPGs are about, and Destiny has this great potential to be just that. And you're right. Like, I think that when they announced that there'd be 3 studios, when, Activision was like, we're going to give Destiny all this crazy support financially and, resource wise, everyone's thought was like, oh, well, surely they know what we know, which was that we wanted more content drops. And sadly, it doesn't seem like
The release cadence is the same, pretty
Yeah,
much from
it's
Destiny
been
1.
pretty slow.
There's an update in November. There was or December. Then there's one in May. Then
Granted-
there's another one in September, probably. So-
Granted, now they have probably problems with the core gameplay and stuff that I don't think they were anticipating. But one of the big things that they could do to really, increase the positivity that the whole community has is to get into what made Destiny 1 so cool, which was like the exploration of these characters and stories in this awesome universe that they develop, which they've done almost nothing with,
And every week, our One Show still has the 3 pieces of armor I don't have from Oryx. And I really got to do it. I need the helmet on my Hunter, my arms on my Warlock, and on my Kite.
You still want it.
I really need to finish off that checklist from D1.
Isn't that crazy? Because I was actually looking back at how many strikes and raids I ran. I think I probably ran the most of Crota actually at something like 30 or 40 times.
It was fast, right?
Well, it's fast, but then also just to get up to light level 32.
Yeah.
Forever 31. Like that was a legit thing. And so without that now being a situation, you can basically level up your gear almost any way you like. There's pros and cons to that. That's the negative side of this, is that I used to grind the raid for that last piece of chest armor. That frustrated some people. So again, some of these changes were done to alleviate that frustration. But yeah, it did. It made the chase for nothing.
The problem with the raid was the drop rates. It was redundancy.
Yeah.
And that's what should have been addressed. Not the fact that you have to do that.
Right.
But the fact that you literally will get arms for 2 months.
Yeah.
And that's all you get.
Like, it's crazy to me that you could have a full set of raid gear and literally never have stopped in the raid if you're in a clan.
The infusion system fixed that. We're talking about Vault and Crota. They did not have infusion back then.
Yep.
Right? So that was the reason why some of that happened.
We're going to have to address Twitter comments next week.
Yeah,
actually.
there was a bunch of them. I mean, I will just say real quick, like I just posed a couple questions to people. I'll list 2 of them. Some of them are saying that it's great because pulses feel a little bit better and they hit hard and the movements. Yeah, so there's some people who are saying that, yes, if you adapt to some of these new meta, it's introducing new gameplay. But then other people are saying, yeah, you know what? It's not a big enough change. The TTK, why haven't you addressed this yet?
Yeah.
Big topic.
And that is a big topic.
And
3 tap.
Cosmo said
People
today,
still want it.
TTK. It's
Yeah,
on
like,
his
I
list.
mean, still have to punch someone 3 times in order to kill them. Like, that's
grenades.
crazy to me.
Yeah. Grenades.
So there's a lot
Guys,
of positive things, but yeah.
I do want to say, I think this was an excellent episode, and I had a great time hanging out with you guys talking about Destiny.
You're so sweet.
Yeah. And I hope you guys and ladies, everybody listening, had a wonderful time listening with us. That's all we have time for this episode, everybody. So until next time,
Guardians out. This is Mr. Rogers here.
Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Whether or not you like Destiny right now, we really appreciate you checking out the show. You can actually subscribe right here to Fireteam Chat, where we'll be talking about Destiny and other games like it. And you can see every episode of Fireteam Chat right there. I'll see you next time, everybody.